Hello everyone. In today's video, I just want to go over exactly what jazz is, how it works, and jazz chords. So what exactly is jazz? Jazz is a music genre that was first developed in the early 20th century. Some of the heroes of jazz were Charlie Parker, Clifford Brown, etc. This style of music largely incorporated improvisation over the context of a chord progression, which I'll get into later. Now let's talk about how jazz works. So a jazz song usually starts with the melody, also known as the head in, and then it goes to the improvisation section. So that might be a saxophone or a trumpet or something like that. And then they would improvise for a certain amount of choruses, which is essentially the song form or the collection of chords. And then the new instrument will join. So usually after a saxophone or trumpet improvises for however many choruses, then like a piano player or bass player would improvise. And then this doesn't always happen, but it can happen. This is known as trading fours, which is essentially when you take two instruments, right? And then one does 4 bars of improvising, and then they trade, and then the other person improvises, and then they keep on alternating back and forth for 4 bars each. And then it usually goes to the melody, but this time at the end of the song, and when it's at the end of the song, this is known as the head out. But now, how do chords work in jazz? Well, if we look at the tune Autumn Leaves, it is in the key of C major for tenor saxophone, and we're just gonna be in that key for the sake of this video. So this song is in C major, and the chords are 2 minor 7, 5 7, 1 major 7, that's the triangle. I should probably point out the minus is minor, and then 5 7. If it's just a 7 and it's no minor or major, that means dominant technically, but you just have to say 5 7. That's all you have to say. And then it goes to, of course, the 4 major 7. So what does that mean if we're in C major? So if we're in C major, we have the 2 chord, the 2 minor chord. So if we look at our scale, the C major scale, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. It is D minor 7 because that is the 2 of C major. And this is 5 dominant 7, right? So if we look at our scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is the 5, 7. So this would be a G7 chord. And now the 1 major 7. Well, this is the 1, and 1 is always major in a major key. So this is C major 7. And now 4 major 7. C, D, E, F. So that would be F major 7. So real quick, I don't think I clarified this very well, but the 1 and 4 of a major scale, like when you construct a chord from them, will always be major. And then when you see in a chart 2, 3, or 6, and you're in a major key, those will always be minor chords. The 5 will always be a dominant 7, which is just called a 7 chord. And then the 7 is always a chord called the half diminished chord, which you don't really have to worry about right now. So now we know the chords, right? So we have D minor 7 going to G7, and then 1 major 7, so C major 7, the triangle for major, and then the minus sign for minor, just a quick refresher. And then we finish off with the 4 major 7, which is the F major 7. So that's cool and all. So we know the chords, but what are the notes inside of these chords? Because when you improvise, you need to know the notes inside the chords, also known as the chord tones. So to figure it out, you have to go back to the scale. So we're in C major, D minor 7. You construct a chord by skipping notes, essentially. So you go to D, you skip E, and then you have F. Skip G, you have A, skip B, and then you go back to C. So that means the notes in D minor 7 are D, F, A, C, okay? And now G7. Well, if we go back to our scale for reference, G, skip A, B, skip C, D, skip E, F. So we have G, B, D, F as our chord tones for that chord. So G, B, D, F. Now we have C major 7, as you can see here. So if you go back to the scale, C, skip D, E, skip F, G, skip A, B. So C, E, G, B. And now F major 7. Once again, go back to the scale. This is the 4 major or F major. Skip G, A, so F, A, skip B, C, and then E. So F, A, C, E, face. So those are the chord tones of each chord. So essentially, you have learned how to construct chords from Roman numerals, and you've learned how to find the notes inside those chords. Hope this helps. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments. I will definitely answer them. Thanks for watching.